Christ. Hi, Justin Davey here again. I thought I would just do a very quick drive round in the M140 just to give you my first impressions of the vehicle. It's a lovely sunny morning, so I thought we'd go for a quick spin, and I'm just going to go through the different driving modes, I think, and I'm going to start with Eco Pro. So I'm currently in Eco Pro, and one thing that I would say is how comfortable this car is. I've had a BMW M140i in the past. That was a 2008, and that was very fidgety. It wasn't a great car. I never really took to it. It was economical, obviously, because it was a diesel, but it was not particularly comfortable. I've got the adaptive dampers on this, so I'm not entirely sure what difference the adaptive dampers make for comfort. But what I would say, in Eco Pro mode, in comfort damper settings, if you like, it's extremely comfortable. In terms of the drive, it's very, very interesting, because I've never known a car change gear so early in the rev range. For example, this car in Eco Pro will try and get upper gear at about no more than 1400 RPM. So it's extremely smooth, it's extremely willing to kind of get into the highest gear possible. Another thing that's interesting about Eco Pro is, rather than it giving you the range left on the tank in the display, it will still keep the range on the trip computer on the Pro Nav, but the screen I've got in front of me is basically telling me how many extra miles, if you like, I've got since I've been in Eco Pro mode. So I can't obviously show you this at the moment because I haven't got a camera pointing at it, but it's currently telling me that I've got an extra 9.1 miles of range left on the tank. So I've been playing about in Eco Pro mode since I filled this car. Cost me, by the way, £49 to fill it at 111.9. It took 44 litres. It's a very, very small tank, 52 litre tank. What I would say was quite interesting, the light had been on a while, the range was saying about 25 miles left, and it still only took 44 litres to fill it. So there must be quite a lot of fuel left in this car, I must say, when the fuel light comes on. Anyway, I digress. So in Eco Pro mode, it's telling me I've gained an extra 9.1 miles. So the question is Eco Pro actually... Oh, thanks for indicating, mate. Nice one. Can't stand people who don't indicate. Question is Eco Pro mode actually necessary? Well, I've done 127 miles since I've filled this car. I'm playing around now and again in Eco Pro. It's given me an extra 9 miles. But that's my opinion on Eco Pro. So it's very, very smooth, but it changes ridiculously early, and it really, really does pull the throttle response back. You're not going to overtake very, very quickly in Eco Pro. So that's Eco Pro. So let's go into comfort mode. So just stepping up. Let's just see what happens as soon as I go into comfort. Okay, so the gears have stayed the same. I didn't know whether the gears would change down slightly, but I'm now in Eco Pro. So the only thing that's really different on the dashboard is that the range has now changed to range left on the tank rather than this extra bonus mile, if you like. Comfort mode is a very, very nice compromise. It's still reasonably responsive. When I get onto the open road, I will show you what I mean by that. So in comfort mode, let's see how responsive this is. So I'm currently doing 30 miles per hour, or let's get it down to 30, there we go, 30 miles per hour. I'm doing about 1000 RPM. Let's just see how responsive this is. So I'm going to floor it. So that picked up reasonably well, but there was definitely a lag there was definitely a delay, but it certainly felt pretty quick. So that was in comfort mode. The other thing that this car has, like many cars now, it has auto start stop, and interestingly it works a lot. I know we're kind of in the summer now, supposedly. We're only 11 degrees outside, but the start-stop feature seems to kick in extremely quickly. I've had cars in the past, my Porsche Cayman for example, start-stop was very hit and miss. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's just an example of the difference with this car. The start-stop works very quickly, and I think the temperature of the engine certainly gets very warm very quickly. Yeah, start-stop kicked in then, you see. But yes, so start-stop works very well. If you want it, you can turn it off. Let's just try another comfort mode. So I'm just going to drop this down to 20. Let's see how quick it can do 20 to 40. So we're doing 20 miles an hour ish in comfort mode, 1000 RPM. So again, picked up quite well. Definitely a bit of a delay, definitely a bit of a lag. I'm just waiting for a better road, and then we shall go into sport mode. So anyway, generally the car, incredibly comfortable for a car that isn't that big. I've owned Audi, the last few years I've had an Audi A6 SE, so that didn't have sport suspension, 2-litre diesel, rode beautifully. I'd say this rides as nicely. I've had a Mercedes E-Class Coupe or Coupe. I'd say this definitely rides better than that. This is on non-run flats. Actually, that's interesting. The BMW I talked about earlier did have run flats, so that probably didn't help the ride. One thing about this, it's so refined. It's so refined, it's so smooth, it's so quiet. You know, comparing back to my Porsche Cayman 981, which was a 2.7 PDK, this is A, so much quicker when you want it to be, but B, so much more refined. The Porsche Cayman was extremely droney. You got a hell of a lot of road noise and wheel noise, and it was just generally a much more angry car. Now it will be, it's a Porsche, it's supposed to be, but as an everyday comfortable car, as well as something which is incredibly fast, which I'll show you in a second when we can get onto a faster road, this is a great all-round compromise. It really is a great all-round compromise. Let's talk a little bit about, while I'm pottering around at 30, let's talk about the MPG. So I'm just going to go to my computer. So since I left, I've averaged 30.1. That's no lie. I don't know whether you might be able to see it on this other camera. I don't know. I'll try and show you in the edit if it's picking it up. But yeah, I've averaged 30.1. And that's just pootling around 30-40 miles an hour, combination of Eco Pro and comfort mode. And since I've owned the car, which is exactly 250 miles, I have done 26.9. Now the interesting thing is, I don't know how accurate these computers are. It could be rather conservative, or it could be not very accurate at all. So we don't know. So I haven't actually, so when I refill the tank, I'll find out exactly what economy I've got. But I don't think that's bad, really. It's probably about the same efficiency as my Porsche Cayman, I would say. That would probably used to give me about 30 as well. So anyway, so we're now in comfort mode. We're coming up to a de-restricted area. Let's just let this car get quite a way in front of me. So I'm going to now go into sport mode. So straight away I'm doing 40 miles an hour. Let's drop it down to 30 in comfort mode. I'm going to go to sport. Yeah, straight away it's dropped to gear. Let's see what happens. Yeah. So instantly, there's definitely a difference in sport mode. Definitely more responsive. It's holding the gears more. It sounds fabulous, and it really does pull like a train. It really does pull like a train. So what I would say about sport mode is certainly when you're in fully automatic mode, is that there's still a bit of a lag, there's still a bit of a delay. It wasn't instant. So what I'm going to do now is when I get around this corner, I'll put it into manual mode, just pop the gearbox to the left. So I'm now in S5, and we'll see what it's like on the paddles. It's such a fun car. It is such a fun car to drive. Yeah. Now, it's not a dual clutch gearbox like the PDK, but it's certainly, compared to other DCT, compared to the PDK, which was a double clutch gearbox, there's not a lot in it. I tell you what was a terrible gearbox. My Mercedes E350 Coupe had a ridiculously slow gearbox. So this is great. Now, interestingly, the start-stop's not working in sport mode, sport manual mode. Maybe that's something to do with it. I don't know. Let's see. I'll put it into auto. Start-stop's still not working. Let's go back into comfort. Yes. So the start-stop's worked. Very quick to change. Very quick to change. Let's just try that again. So I'm currently in fourth, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. Interesting. Very, very good. Very good. Seventh, sixth, fifth. See, I don't often drive with paddles, but I think I might more in this car. Let's find a bit of a better road and we'll just try a little bit more paddle shifting. So I'm currently in sixth now. It's interesting because it's telling me on the dashboard as well as what gear I'm in. Yeah, so now it's gone 6 to 8. Five to 8. That's interesting. I wonder what that does. So it's saying 5 to 8. There must be a way that you can get it to go straight. I know this gearbox will let you miss a gear or a few gears. So that's interesting. Right, let's get around this corner and do a bit of a paddle shift. So I'm in third, get into second, 5,000 RPM. Jesus Christ. That is incredible. So that's fourth at 60 miles an hour. Yeah. Third. Oh. Oh my word. That That is unbelievable, I have to say. I haven't really booted it yet, and I probably shouldn't be doing that because I've only done 254 miles and you're supposed to run it in for 1200. So maybe that was a bit naughty. But I just wanted to give you my reaction actually. The first time I've kind of used the fully manual mode. So let's go back into comfort. I'm not going to bother with Sport Plus. Just pottering around. Again, it's so refined. I mean, compared to what we've just seen, and that wasn't excessive speed. But look how refined it is now. You literally, in comfort mode, back to Eco Pro, you literally cannot hear the engine. Fabulous. Another thing that I would say is I've completely forgot what I was going to say. I thought of something else then. Ride is very good. It's very quiet. Oh yes, that's it. Rattles. One thing that I cannot stand about cars, any car, but certainly a premium car such as a Mercedes or a BMW or a Porsche or whatever, rattles. Can't stand them. To me, rattly cars, it just completely devalues the experience. And there isn't a single rattle in this car. And I'll tell you something. What's very interesting is that when I had my BMW 318 Saloon, the window rubbers creaked like you wouldn't believe. And I've read a lot on forums that there is a problem with BMW rubbers. And there's a product which I use called Gummy Flager. Check it out on Amazon. And that will solve it. And reading forums on the M140s, 240s, no, the M140, sorry, people are still banging on about noisy window rubbers and creaky window rubbers. The nice thing is, I think, and I might be wrong, that that's particular to the 5-door. Because this car has rimless doors, I'm not hearing any creaking from the rubbers, which is great, because that would really have bugged me. But I can guarantee that there are absolutely no creaks, no rattles in this car whatsoever, and it's riding phenomenally well. So I hope that was marginally interesting. Please comment below, subscribe and share, and I'll be in touch later with another update. Thanks for watching.